Yes, it is now. It wasn't. You're right. It is. Roll call is all present. The minutes for the August 28th meeting are available. They need to be approved, disapproved, corrected, amended.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from the August 28th, 2025 Middlebury Redevelopment Commission as presented.
Second.
Can I have a second? Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we have any public comments? Say aye. Aye. That's public. Okay. All right. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, I think. And if we can't, it'll be all right. Okay. Old business, first item is a review of projects. Mary.
We have expansion of,
Expansion
Oh,
of TIF.
what? Mine is.
Yeah, his does say review.
Mine says review of
Review of
projects.
projects.
We're gonna go by the order that I have. Maybe.
Yeah, it's, you,
What, is yours?
mine doesn't say that.
no. But I don't know,
Oh,
yours is different.
is yours,
Yeah.
is yours older or mine?
Well, mine was just printed off.
Oh. I'm out of
Yours
date.
says expansion. Yeah, yours is the same as ours.
Okay, so just a second. My stuff's out of order.
Maybe my agenda is senile.
So I put together a quarterly report of Middlebury redevelopment projects, and I open any questions that anybody might have on any of them. I tried to try to get you updated on everything that we have going on with the redevelopment, between funds that are with here and also funds that are through the county redevelopment commission.
Thank you for putting that together. It's always nice to see where projects are at.
So on the North Brown Street property, on the report, you had the question about whether or not the RDC wanted to proceed with the acquisition.
Yep.
I thought that, I mean, the rumor was what, that they, well, not the rumor, they had paid the property taxes, so it was no longer the tax sale.
Correct.
They were intending to move there. Are you suggesting, like, with that if we proceed by making an offer to the property owner based on the appraisals?
That would be an option, yeah.
Okay.
I just had no direction on what to do there, so I'm just kind of trying to figure out what the next step is, if you want, if redevelopment and the town council want to pursue it, or if we want to just let it drop.
If we're going to pursue that, and I think it would be a good option, we would have to bear in mind that if we should be allowed to purchase it, then we have to do something with it. And at least initially, it would only make sense, I think, to remove the building. And we would have, of course, somebody would have to pay for that. I don't know if the town has that money. If they don't, then we should know that we need to be willing to fund that with the purchase if we're going to proceed.
So in the town, we'll be receiving funds back at the end of the year with our disbursement for the funds that we paid to have the church demolished. So that was about 28,000, but it's also accrued interest. So I'm not sure exactly what the amount is.
I
But
would
it's-
imagine that house will come down cheaper than the church went down.
Yes.
I would think it wouldn't be the volume. It won't be much cheaper because think of how much
Sure, I
prices
understand,
have
but it
changed
won't,
in
I don't
that
think it'll
period.
override
No,
with the
but it probably
reimbursement.
would take most of it.
Right, because the church was a lot bigger.
Yeah, more volume of what
Improvement.
to get rid of, yeah.
Right.
But the church was also down too.
Yeah.
And
That might make a difference.
that plus the other thing, we don't know how much stuff is in the house.
Right.
So it could be pretty well packed.
Well, nowadays you just take it to the landfill anyway.
Well, as we understand it, the taxes were paid, and there is a move to vacate the current renters for the property owner's purposes. So it
And-
seems like the window for offer is pretty short, because if her intention is to live there,
Owner occupied.
owner occupied, then an opportunity to purchase prior to that would make more sense, after she occupies. So I still think within the limits that the RDC was willing to pay an offer, a no doesn't cost us anything. And it would be an opportunity to acquire that blighted site, at least one more opportunity. And I would be in favor of pursuing that.
Why don't you make a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion that the redevelopment commission furthers an opportunity to make an offer to the owner of the Brown Street property for purchase,
Supporting by the appraisals.
supported by the appraisals.
No,
Correct.
wait,
Is there a maximum amount?
We established maximum amount last month.
We
Yeah.
did off of the appraisals. I think
Yeah.
we went 210.
Yeah, so that same amount.
I would think so.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion about that? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next item, well, were we done with the review, Mary? In your,
If there's any other questions, I'll,
I mean, I looked through it, I think we understand all of it, but yeah, but it is nice it's all there in a row. Okay, the next item of business, expansion of the downtown TIF district.
so Elkhart County is continuing with that, removing the property that's north of 14th Avenue, east of State Road 13, and south of the Meyer property. All of that land then would be released from the county TIF. So then we can put that into the downtown TIF.
I think that was in the minutes, in the paper.
And that,
What was it?
Yeah, but
That was
they-
in the project list.
that currently lies within the town of Middlebury.
Yeah,
So we're talking just the residents and supplemental outbuildings.
Up there and, no, and the first.
there's only one house.
No,
Right. One dwelling and supplemental outbuildings. So there's two, looks like two
Well,
outbuildings.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Forest River bought that.
Forest River doesn't own that one.
No.
On what, the
That
building?
house.
The buildings. They own, like,
The-
that's owned by the property owner to the north. I know it got to be a little weird there, but
It doesn't matter.
that's what it says on the
I'm not
tax
sure
or
that-
GIS. Okay. So I'm not sure when that will come to our redevelopment for consideration for approval.
The-
Jackson might know.
Confirmation of it will be at the November county meeting, which is November 6th, first Thursday in November. And
But if it is-
then there's some filing and recording requirements.
If they
but,
free it, why there's
yeah,
no
we could start. the
adamant
process.
rush, except that it needs to be done before they have any improvements that show on the tax.
Right.
And that, it's a couple of years away probably. The speed we work.
Well, they're wanting to occupy that building in June. So,
So it
or
would be
before.
27 probably, but
Yep.
it should be done. And it's done. Okay. Is that all you have about a TIF?
Yep.
Are you gonna stand up there while we talk about
Probably.
reimbursing a portion of your pay? Okay.
We have I have one update for C.
Well, besides what we talked about?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So we do have an item C, and it's 109 Grand Street again, different subject.
Yeah,
That's
so.
Jackson.
Yep, so heard from the BFB partners, the developer, maybe, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? We were trying to schedule a closing for next week, but their lender said they're still wanting to wait until they get their phase 2 soil samples report back. As of that correspondence this week, he said it could be, what did he say? 4 to 6 weeks. So under the purchase agreement, it does state that, you know, we're aiming to close on or before end of September. But we can mutually agree to extend that. And so if we do want to extend that, I would look for a guidance on sending a letter to agree to extend the closing date, and how far are we willing to set that deadline to close. Our next, if it's 4 to 6 weeks, we could say end of October, but theoretically it could be beyond that.
Why not go prior to the next redevelopment meeting date, and that would give basically a month, wouldn't it? Or, no, basically, we better go to the end of the month,
But they're at the mercy of who's doing the study?
the lending, well,
I'm not
lender's
sure,
waiting
yeah.
for the study or something to
Right.
that
Yeah,
effect. so they say.
phase
waiting.
2 soil.
Right.
So the meeting time for our meeting time and whatnot doesn't impact the closing one way or the
Right.
other.
No.
So I mean, to me, if it's 4 to 6 weeks, I mean, that's putting, if it's at the 6 weeks, it's all the way right up at the end of October, if depending on when that letter was sent. So,
It's more like 5, yeah.
No more.
yeah, I mean, I guess I'd say, I mean,
Extend it to the first week in November?
Well, you're
No.
still 5 weeks. I mean, we're
I
5
do
weeks to the
November,
first
I
of
mean,
November.
November 21st, the
Yeah.
Friday before Thanksgiving, we meet on the 20th.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
then if there's an issue, whatnot, we could address it at that meeting.
That's a good
You
idea.
need a formal motion for that?
Yeah, just to approve.
I'd move
Extend.
that we amend the purchase agreement with, for the Grand Street property to extend the closing date to November 21, 2025.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Do we have the results of phase 1?
Well, the phase 1 was done in 2020. I think they were relying on some soil testing that the town had done when they got.
We had done some supplemental work on like initial parts of a phase 2. We just didn't do the full phase 2. So that's what they're doing. I've given them everything that we have.
They have to have for,
Do we
Yeah,
anticipate any
residents.
issues? Okay.
No.
Okay, all those in favor of Don's motion, say aye. Motion passed. Next item under new business is reimbursement of the portion of the town manager's yearly salary. And the town manager's gonna speak to that, talking about her
Well,
money.
I just was going to give you a little bit of
Yeah.
some of the history. So 22, 23, and 24, the redevelopment and the town councils agreed upon an expense, have a expense reimbursement agreement for the town manager's salary. So, and that was in the amount of 30,000. We're just asking for consideration by the commission to increase the reimbursement to 40,000 this year. And then proposed breakdown, 20% out of the downtown TIF, so that would be 8,000. And then Elroy TIF would be the remainder at 32, if that's the route. We're just trying to get paperwork around if that's the route that anybody, or if council and commission want to proceed.
Any comments? Discussion?
Is there a reason why we couldn't set that up as a percentage going forward instead of just a flat amount?
A percentage out of the TIFs?
No, out of the salary.
take
I
the
don't-
salary
I-
amount and RDC pay a certain percentage and so,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that seems pretty reasonable.
When we began that, I can't remember why we said, but it was 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I'm not sure.
It was at the end of the year, so that's when
It
we,
was after,
They just
yeah.
broke it down.
yeah, and so it wasn't like put into any type of,
Yeah, and I think it would
Budget.
make more sense just to be a number
Okay.
rather than a percentage, because since it's based on services rendered and a
Yeah.
reimbursement.
So this for 2025 or 2026?
25.
25?
And then you can do the same thing in 12 months. I'd entertain a motion.
I'd move to approve the reimbursement agreement for 2025 in the amount of $40,000 with the proposed breakdown as presented in the memorandum.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Notice I added that.
Noted.
Yeah, thanks. Next item is the 2026 Redevelopment Commission TIF spending plan. Here we go.
So last year was the first year that this was implemented. And so we have to put together a spending plan, and then that needs to be uploaded into Gateway. I think it's by December 1st is when we have to have the plan in place. So I figured that we should probably start on this a little bit now. So there's an example of what we did last year. And then we have several projects that are still in process. So if you look at the town center TIF, we still have like this State Road 13 lighting, the design work that is being done on that. This is at the halfway mark of your paperwork. And then State Road 13 water and sanitary sewer replacement, where when that goes to full reconstruction from down by Harding's all the way to York Drive. So those two are basically two things that are under contract that we'll have to carry forward, plus we'll have the professional services and staff costs. But all the rest of those, the water tower design, we've already paid that into the Elroy TIF, and the Elroy TIF is paying for that contract for design. So that kind of will be removed, but it'll still be funding that will be expended through the Elroy TIF. So then if you go to the Elroy TIF, again, there's about halfway down, the professional services. We have the hardwood lift station construction and construction inspection. US 20, from County Road 35 to State Road 13, that utility relocation, the design is complete. We're working on engineers' estimates and then we'll be entering into an interlocal agreement with the Indiana Department of Transportation because they will pay for the majority of that construction. We'll have to pay for any upsize and any pipes or any pipes that we want to add to supplement. But it should be, compared to what the total construction cost is for our utility relocation, it should be minimal.
So like if they design an 8-inch and we want a 10-inch, we just pay the pipe cost difference.
Right. And we know what we have there and what all of that. It's just putting the numbers together. So then County Road 37, 20, and State Road 13 utility improvements, that's complete. State Road 13 water main replacement from US 20 down to Hardwoods, we're still working on that design. The paving project is complete. Water tower number 2, that design engineering will be in there. The intersection improvements, that's Orpha and County Road 37. We're currently designing that, but then that's going to be a county project, so they'll take over from there. And then we have the JACO loan repayment. That's estimated at about $250,000, and then the intersection improvement, the construction, we have an interlocal agreement with Elkhart County, and we have to pay $200,000 up until 2030, and then in 2031, it's a smaller amount to finalize that. So, and then following that is a TIF snapshot as of September 2025 from Elkhart County Redevelopment Commission. It just gives you a summary of all the different TIF districts that the county administers. And then all of the open project accounts that they have on their books. So we work pretty closely together with them, make sure that, um, and then, so it looks like there would be an ending balance at the end of this year. It's going to be more than this, but if you subtract out all the projects and funds that we have allocated, it'd be right around almost 1.9 million in the Elroy TIF. And then I did not subtract out 110 North Brown Street, if that would get purchased. But at the end of this year, we anticipate around 650,000 in the downtown TIF. So, on the back of your at the end of the quarterly report for Middlebury redevelopment projects, I just put some possible potential future projects that we're looking at. One of the things is Orpha Drive. So currently there's no sanitary sewer along Orpha Drive or like within the right of way of Orpha Drive. The homes on the south are served out the back. They go into a line that's out back underneath the pine trees. And then Napa and Monteith have a force main that pumps. They have a little lift station that pumps from there all the way down to Antler Lift Station, which is down in the valley there. Probably smell it every once in a while when you drive past. And then the two businesses on the west side of US 20, I guess that's kind of, because US 20 right there goes almost north and south. At least one of them's got their septic system out right near US 20. So I'm pretty sure that
Which one?
the northwest one,
One on the north side of 20?
it would be on the west side of 20 there.
20's going east and west.
Well, not at that section. It goes a
At
little
that
bit north.
intersection of Orpha.
It's an east-west highway. It has an even number. Thank you.
It may have a number, but that's not the direction it goes.
Is 7 o'clock too early?
Are you talking about, are you talking about the mechanic shop? Are you talking about the shop across from Monteith?
The Middlebury Service Center?
Yes. Yes.
That might help.
Friendly Tire.
No.
Friendly
Start.
Tire's up there.
Tire Star,
the other
Tire
car.
Star has already been contacting us at times, seeing what our plan is. But ideally, it would be great to be able to run gravity from that Antler lift station all the way through the intersection of US 20 and then get it all the way past County Road 37, because all of that's going to already be tore up. And
You're talking about gravity to the lift station
yeah, it would be,
from the west on 22 all the way.
Yeah.
Is that lift station going to go away someday, or
it
not
is.
too far to look?
It's in the plan. That Antler lift station could be eliminated if we can get Hoover
Right.
built with a brand new force main all the way to the plant.
But
But it all takes money.
that's a big project.
But the thing is, if we can get a gravity sanitary sewer line built along Orpha, then
It'll flow into that anyway.
the Spring Valley lift station, which is going to be eliminated, that's going to continue gravity to the Northridge lift station. Northridge is going to then pump all the way to Antler. But if we can put gravity in, it can then stop at US 20 and Orpha and dump into a gravity manhole there.
It's going to,
So, and then the other thing is doing a bore and jack underneath US 20. So typical, just estimated, when you lay a sanitary sewer pipe, you're talking, say, about $180 to $100 a foot. When you do a bore and jack underneath a highway like that, you're anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a foot. It's expensive. So if we can get the bore and jack done as a shorter one underneath the current US 20,
And then they have,
and then add on to that pipe, the steel casing pipe, and then put our line through, it's not gonna cost as much. So there's just things that we need to be thinking about. And so I've asked Donahue to give us a cost on what the design would be. I've just estimated it. I think that we have most all the survey that we need. There might be a short little section, but I think we can piece all the rest of it together. So that's one project. We've talked about the wastewater treatment plant improvements.
Mary, before we move
Yep.
on the Orpha Drive side, I seem to remember, and maybe this wouldn't really be addressed by it, but Wedgwood with their brewing operation had questions about water.
Yeah, we've,
And is that mostly just their lateral? This wouldn't have anything to do, or,
yeah, so they had a really long lateral and they said that they only needed a 1 inch with the volume of water that they needed and the pressures that they needed because it's based on volume and pressure. So they were taking the water service line up, so up into the second story, taking it through their filtration machine, which reduces a lot of the pressure. But you're already reducing pressure by going up. That's where they were having problems. So I think that they just recently installed a 4-inch line
okay.
to solve that.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we know for sure yet when that section of US 20 is gonna be open for, I mean, I guess the road open so you can go across.
So currently, the status is that they're planning on, I don't know if bids are due or if they open it to letting in December.
This year.
Yes. So it's, I'm not sure when bids are due for sure, but it's either December or January. Then right-of-way begins, right-of-way acquisition, and that will be in 2026. They're hoping to have that complete by the end of 26. And so that way utility relocation can start in 27. We're kind of trying to figure out when is the best time for us to bid our project. Do we bid it, say in January and just tell contractors that they're not going to be able to start until, possibly early 27?
I'm gonna say a year.
Sometimes it's better to get on the books. And then construction, like actual construction, is supposed to start in 28 on US 20. But it's going to look like a war zone with all the utilities trying to relocate in 26 or 27, I mean, sorry. And I think we're going first. So with our utility relocation.
Mary, with all the talk of Senate Bill 1 and the cutbacks in municipalities, et cetera, where's the money going to come from for all this?
I don't know that we
yet.
we understand it all.
Yeah, yeah.
They're still working on the formulas, so.
So in that's
That's an understatement.
yeah, that's the one thing that I have expressed is, change is hard, no matter who you are. I don't like change. Probably none of you like change, but they made the change, but they didn't tell us or lay out a plan. It was just in somebody's head of this is how we do this and this is how we're going to do this. And they didn't lay out the plan of how to help towns and cities implement it. I mean, towns are like, we're at, a lower part of the totem pole with regards to having a voice, plus we're far away from Indy, but how do you implement And so I, I don't know, that's what I've expressed, like, I don't like change. Um, and, it seems that things are working and we've got, I'll just brag on my staff a little bit, but our clerk treasurer, we just went through an audit. The State Board of Accounts were here and they were here they work for 10-hour days. So they were here for 2 weeks and 2 days. And like, I've never been through an audit that's only lasted that amount of time. They're doing an awesome job here. So I'm like very proud of them. So,
And to hear that your system is highly organized and very well structured was certainly a
those were comments from
compliment
the
to the staff.
State Board of Accounts. So, but with the change, how does that impact us and how do you make the changes to reflect that? We want to do a good job. It's just, I don't know. I don't have the answers to it.
I think in relation to projects, I think that you're doing the only thing we can do, and you have to keep going forward until there's a new direction ordered or cleared up or explained or whatever terms you want to use to explain it. In the meantime, we can't stop. I don't think the town should stop.
Well, towns have stopped with some of their capital projects.
Sure,
Yeah.
yes, I understand that, but until a stop occurs, I think you keep trucking, keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would think with your potential future projects there, I mean, unless there's not necessarily, and maybe you could speak to this, I mean, priority in terms of like importance or desire need of that, but because of that, I'd probably just lean towards, because all of them involve, at least initially, some kind of engineering, soft cost, design stuff up front. So whatever the ones where the total estimated is the least amount to proceed with those, because then if something happens and there's a crunch, I mean, like, and it's hard because, I mean, I think the wastewater treatment plant, that's something where it's one of those things you don't do it and then you have an issue and then everybody cares about it, but nobody cares about it as long as
Their toilet
their
flushes.
waste keeps going away. But you're talking about spending $1 million at least up front just on engineering, where in some of these other projects you're almost completely funded at $1 million. So it's tough. I think the wastewater treatment plant probably involves a broader discussion at the town level in terms of funding, and not just with RDC. And then, but I mean, these other ones with the sanitary sewer over drive, the intersection improvements, I think some of that stuff makes some sense for those industrial areas.
And I would agree with you. Just to go a little bit off on the wastewater treatment plant, Elkhart County Redevelopment Commission, they have the 3 different TIFs. And so they were planning on putting quite a bit of money towards the design. And then we would look to, put some from our wastewater and then possibly from here too. So I'm afraid if we push that one off, and we start having problems, it could cost us a whole bunch more. So I'll try to put together maybe like a summary, Don, of how that could potentially be funded with regards to all the different funding options, and then start working on that.
Was there any assistance from the Elkhart County Sewer Department or
Sewer Board?
Sewer District?
So that project, the State Road 13 project, it's still a go. And so,
Weren't they giving us
Yes.
some assistance?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep,
They'd apply for SRF funds, right?
they applied for SRF, but are you meaning for the wastewater plant?
Well, I guess.
We were trying to
Exactly.
do the first phase without having to raise rates and apply for an SRF. So that's why we're pushing it out until 2030. But a lot of times the design can take at least a year. So I at least want to have it on the radar. I know it's a lot, but I just wanted to kind of lay it all out.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Is that the end of that?
Yes.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the redevelopment commission members for 2026. Is that an invitation, or what do we consider that?
I was just throwing it out there, because
Would you
you've
like to-
indicated that you did not want to.
Yeah, my position will be vacant in 26.
And so the council will need to like be able to know how many positions are going to be vacant and how many that they need to try to figure out how to fill. I didn't want to wait until the end of the year to
I
do
know
it.
that. That's a good idea. And that, is everybody else, you willing to do it next year, John, at this point?
Sure.
That's great. I like
committal
your,
there, John.
I like your community enthusiasm. You're a good
If
guy.
you find someone better that wants to do it, I'll be happy to
There
take
is
them
no
on.
one better.
Don, will you
No one.
continue? Long as
As long as
satisfy your meeting time needs?
Right.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm right there with you, Don. Don't worry. I'm a
You like
78
it
guy.
too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I think everybody's willing to do it again but Chuck. And
And we are appointed by the council anyway, so.
and you have to appoint somebody to take my place.
Yeah.
I might be a president, I don't know.
You're a president appointment,
Am I? Yeah,
per-
okay.
according to the, yeah.
Tell Carl. Well, but you might have a new president by then.
No,
No, you won't.
not for
Tell
26.
Carl he has to do that. Okay. Anything else, sir? If not, I think at this point, this meeting is adjourned.